everybody, I'm back, and sorry it's not Fizzaroli, but as we all know, episode 8 dropped, which I'm super surprised it dropped. Like, I really thought we'd never see it, and I was fine with that, because I knew it wouldn't progress anything, as Viv said so when it got stuck in legal hell. But anyway though, I had zero faith we'd see the Gluttony prince, or I guess princess, but here we are, and wow, what a character. I'm sorry, what the heck is this? Like, okay, sorry, don't get me wrong, she's very cute. I think the VX team did an awesome job with the MLP hair, but I can't see this as the Beelzebub. Like, when she came on screen, I was like, oh, okay, cool, Hellhound hybrid. I was wondering if we'd ever get to see one, since imps can mate with about any species and produce offspring. So I was always curious if Hellhounds could too, but apparently she's not even really a hound. Thanks to Viv's tweet, we know she's a fox, which I am so confused by, since the metaphor for a fox has nothing to do with gluttony. Foxes are like more in the greed category. Also, off topic, sorry, but the episode confused me so much. Like, we've known since day one that it's looked down for royals to be in lower class relationships, yet no one really cares. Yes, we still have the Ozzy and Fizz episode where they're called out, but from the rest of the trailer, it looks like Fizz could care less. And I know a lot of people in the comments and on Twitter and everywhere else are saying, well, they're the highest of the highest, so no one can really say anything. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine and all that. Like, I'm not saying that Ozzy and Bee cannot date who they want to date. I'm just saying it's weird that the citizens around them are not judging them the way that they have Stolas and Blitz. Like, it's still weird. It should still be weird for the citizens, because obviously if someone said something to their faces, I'm pretty sure Ozzy and Bee would just not tolerate it. But I can even imagine the other sins, like making fun of Ozzy and Bee for dating who they're dating. Like, I can imagine Leviathan and Maman going just like, I can't believe you're dating like the cockroaches of our world and the pets of our society, like, yet nobody judges them. And I know we still have the Ozzy episode coming, so I'm trying my best to minimize how citizens react to this, but like, from what we've learned from the Goetia, and I find that really funny because a lot of people have said, well, Stolas is part of the Goetia, and I'm like, so is Ozzy. Like, Ozzy is in the Ars Goetia. They're in the same circles, they're in the same royal hierarchy. Like, just because Ozzy is above everybody else doesn't change the fact that Ozzy, like, he's got the status of the Queen of England. Think of it like that. Now think of the Queen of England like dating a Chippendales dancer. That is the equivalent of what's happening between Ozzy and Fizz, and it's just like, people should just be a little weirded out by it. We're gonna go with British rules here, where they should just be like, this ain't right, no. But it's also extra confusing because I mean, even Ozzy didn't flaunt or say anything. So for all we know, no one really knows what Ozzy and Fizz's relationship is. But B just flat out let Tex say she's his girlfriend, which big win for Tex, but also, huh? I think what would have made their dynamic interesting is if she corrected him with, he means best friend. Or like if Luna looked confused and B just did the shh motion, like maybe hint that B knows it's weird but wants to keep it on the down low, because like hooking up and dating are two different things. So I can imagine the 7 deadly sins like getting down and doing whatever they want, but like being exclusive, that's a little weird, especially when it's a hellhound or an imp. It's just like, really? Also, why were there so many imps at the party? Like, we're in Gluttony. Where's the insect citizens? We know Bee is half bee, so why aren't there more bug citizens at her party? Like, none of the imps even have hints to being hybrids to insects. So that was confusing and super disappointing because I really wanted to see some insect characters. Anyway, for the design, I'm not super surprised by it, as after the Lucifer and Ozzy drop, I no longer have any expectations for what the princess will look like, but this was a roller coaster of emotions, as I didn't even know she was the Beelzebub. I seriously thought she was a citizen, and then later a possible daughter of the OG Beelzebub, but nope, that's her. And I can really see the Kesha influence, because if memory serves, foxes were Kesha's thing back in the day, and as cute as the face style is and the colors, it's seriously just recolored Luna. Like, no, like seriously, look, see the outfit, it's basically the same. Even the hair shape and how it goes in one direction. They just took Luna's main clothes and slapped some new shit on it to make it different. And I can't tell if it's a subtle way to say Tex has a type or if Luna is seeing Bee as a better version of her. But with how little Luna actually interacts with Bee, we'll never really know. Anyway though, as much as I really want to talk about the design, I'm gonna have to hold back because this isn't a redesign of Vivs Bee, along with this version being Bee's mother. So like the biblical version of Beelzebub. Well, maybe not 100% biblical, but do keep in mind that this is not Vivs Bee. This is like basically my version of Beelzebub, whereas when I do redesign Vivs Bee, it'll be the combination of this Beelzebub and her husband, Cerberus, which I will get into in his video. It will make sense when I talk about it, so do not worry about that. But let's move on to the design. Okay, so Beelzebub's lore is kinda messy. For one, he's not even in the Ars Goetia, so that symbol we saw in the episode, yeah, that's not Beelzebub's symbol. It's this guy's. And last time I checked, they're two different demons. Like, their lore has zero things in common, and this just keeps making me think that the creator really doesn't research the lore she takes things from. Like, obviously, if you're making a world based on biblical and demonic lore, either make your own logic by making different symbols and reasons and rules, or actually read about what you're taking inspiration from. Like, for example, a lot of fantasy shows take from Tolkien's work but rework the rules to fit their story, yet Viv just seems to pick and choose different things and work it into her show. And the world building. The world building. We will talk about the world building. Do not worry. But honestly, I feel, personally, Viv is just grabbing names and slapping basic theming on them and calling it a day. Also, before we go in the deep with this one, I saw the tweet Viv posted about if the fans wanted Accurate to draw Beelzebub as a fly, which he is depicted as, but honestly, he does look kind of like a bee. Plus his name's Beelzebub, like the pun is right there. So yeah, I went in the bee direction. And though bees and flies are not related, nature has given us the cutest possibility, bee flies. That's right, flies, as in plural. There are many types of flies that mimic bees, so it's not too unlikely for Beelzebub to be a fly in disguise as a bee, which is where I went with this one. Plus, I just really like the idea that Beelzebub is a fly demon mimicking a bee to trick sinners with their happy, warm energy, but underneath is a trash-eating monster. Kind of like that old saying, you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar. Hence why Beelzebub hides her more unsightly side. Plus, he is depicted as having been a cherub before the fall, so it's not too unlikely for him to revert into something cute for the humans. Anyway, though, as for the lore, there's really not that much since he's fused or confused with Lucifer half the time, but he was second in command, so his inner circle is with Lucifer and Leviathan, which makes sense of the time since gluttony was probably the most popular sin in older times. I mean, in Christianity it was probably popular considering that like the bread and wine were Christ's body. So if you overindulged in those things, it was like you're not being courteous to God and all that kind of stuff. But in today's time, it's more of a metaphor for overindulgence with anything. So like your phone, work, like anything can be overindulged in. But the traditional meaning of gluttony just means overindulgence of food and drink. In Christianity, it's considered a sin if the excessive desire for food causes it to be withheld from the needy. Hence to why a lot of people draw Beelzebub chubby, which is also the reason I made my version chubby, as she's the OG and her sin is still tied to the old ways. Plus, as weird as it sounds, it makes sense to draw gluttony chubby, not in the way that you guys are thinking. So we have 7 princes, right? So we have 7 characters. We have Lucifer, who is basically just humanoid. Then we have Lust, and we all know that he does not look lustful, so a lot of people will draw the character very lustful to get the point across. Then we have Sloth. Everyone always draws that one weird. I think that's like the last attempt. But then you have Wrath, so you draw like an angry, hulked out guy. And then you have Greed, a greasy, slick kind of character. And then you have Envy, which is usually green themed. So I can see why people made Gluttony chubby, because it's a visual thing. Like when you're looking at all 7 princes, you want to be able to tell which sin they come from. And as backwards as it is, it makes sense for Gluttony to be slightly chubby, because then the audience knows, like people who don't read demonic lore or pay that much attention, or it's it's just one of those, it's a visual thing. It's just easier when all 7 characters are lined up and you can tell who's who just based on appearance. But yeah, that is the reason why I made my version chubby, as she's the OG and her sin is still tied to the old days, while her daughter is not. Because, I mean, we all know the meaning of sins changed with the times, and what I like about Vivs B, instead of overeating, she eats the vibe, which makes so much sense for a more modern version of the sins. Also, sorry, off topic, not sure if y'all can tell, I kind of went in the French Rococo style of my favorite cake-eating princess, Marie Antoinette, really hope I said that right, as she really embodied the gluttonous nature. And as much as I want to sit here and talk about the many ways the sin of gluttony can be, I will leave a link for you guys to read of the many versions. But for this version of Beelzebub, I've chosen hastily and uncleanliness, and not for the reason you think. So for Beelzebub's design, I decided to go with a flower theme, as that's like a bee's whole reason for living. I gave her twin twist horn hair, yes, that is hair, made her crown a flower that's attached to her. It's
sickeningly
sweet, which is why the butterflies follow her. I gave her 4 eyes with the fly pattern on top, along with mandibles, which I should point out OG Beelzebub does have, which is weird because flies technically don't have them. Anyway though, the line under her lip is supposed to be there, as when Beelzebub gets ready to eat her prey, her mouth splits open. And as usual, I gave her a fur collar. You guys know me, I can't say no to fur, but also it kind of adds to her regalness. The dark parts on her shoulder and chest are her skin, but like the harder shell part. I also let her chest hang out because, well, there's a joke I love about milk and bees, and well, yeah. I made the elbow parts of her arms pointed and blue tipped for style. As for her boobs, the part covering her chest is fabric, but the ab part you're seeing is 100% her body. It's not like Vivs B, lava lamp tummy. They're attached to her stomach. Similar to ticks and like a certain type of ant, they do swell up when she's eaten. I should also say, when I say eaten, I don't mean when she's eaten regular food or drink. No, I mean when she's eaten someone. This version likes to overindulge her citizens to the point they start to decay on the inside, kind of like an overripe banana, to which she'll shed this version of her, turning into a demonic monster fly, along with the butterflies that follow her, turning into flies as well, and devouring the citizen. Fun, right? Anyway, I did want to add an extra set of arms, but decided to go the angel dust route of them popping out when she needs them. But I did add little bee legs to her torso as like a fun nod to the extra arms. And finally, the skirt. As I said, I went French Rococo styled, so I made the skirt extra wide, but tightened it towards the end. I was originally going to add spikes as a nod to how flies' fur kind of look like cactus quills, but the overlapping design I did looked so much like a flower, I just kind of went with that. And though you can't see her feet, she does have bug legs. Now the wings, I'm not 100% on. I mean, the OG design of Beelzebub's wings just look like something a goth kid in the 2000s would draw, so yeah, still working on that one as well as the color. Also, I did go back and keep the bee butt, though I keep thinking I want it, then I'm like nah, then I'm like yes, and I'm like I don't know if I like it, and I don't know if I like it, and I don't know if I don't like it. So let me know what y'all like better, bee butt or no bee butt. But now, as for the colors, I actually really loved the look of the Gluttony Rings colors, along with Vivsy Pop's Beelzebub's colors. Like, it's very sweet, very beach day vibes, along with that golden honey. So the colors I used are actually colors from the background. I was going to do more golden honey with hints of blue, but for the sin of gluttony, I figured why not indulge in the colors a bit more. So I went with sweet pink with golden honey yellow and ombrayed it to make a fun flower color along with that sunset vibe. I used the same blue as well and went extra crazy with it by putting it on all the little spots I could find. Also, yeah, I did go crazy with the spots, but I wanted that like pollen soda pop kind of look, you know? And honestly, I am so in love. My original design was okay. I mean, I still love it, but this one, oh, how I love you. Man, this was hella long, but this was so much fun, and I hate it's gonna be a while till you guys get to see Beelzebub's husband, cause I mean, watch out, furry community, he's a hot one. But my trip to Iceland is in like 6 days. Jesus, time flies. Anyway though, let me know what you all think. I love reading you guys' headcanons and ideas. Next video when I get back will be Cerberus, Beelzebub's husband, and redesigned Vivs B's dad. Really gotta think of a new name for her besides Vivs B. Anyway, though, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Really helps out the channel and me. I hope you all have a super fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.